Hi all, welcome back to the final whistle then for the Championship predictions week 8. The midweek games have actually come across us now, and this is where the Championship gets interesting. 2 games this week in the Championship, aren't they? We'll have the predictions tonight and then the predictions on Thursday as well for the weekend game. So we'll have a double header this week regarding the Championship predictions. Guys, as always, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new and you haven't subscribed already. Please get down and do so. That help me out massively. Let us know also the teams you support. If you're watching this on playback, let me know your predictions as well. Like target tonight is, I tell you what, I'm going to let the boys pick on that one. Yeah, let's use in. WLB, how are we? A, how are we, mate? Hope you're well. Evening, Jack. Evening, Kyle. How are we, mate? Hope you're good. Also, last night we did the Wrexham match preview on the channel, so go and check that out. We did chat with a Wrexham fan on everything regarding all the ex-Leicester City players that have gone to Wrexham, by the way, and even Connor Cody left Leicester to go Wrexham in the summer as well. Danny Ward. Hey, Jack, planning to watch Leicester game 18th versus Portsmouth. Which stand is better, A2 or C1? Depends where you want to sit, mate, to be fair. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I don't know. I know one's in one corner and one's in the other, but we'll have to wait and see. But let's get the boys in for the Championship predictions and the 3 horsemen of the Championship predictions. Let's get Steve in first. Steve, how are we?
Yeah, could be better, mate. A bit ill, but I'm here. I'm here to predict and get several right and wrong.
Oh. I mean, it was a bit of a stressful weekend. It sort of went to the last minutes, didn't it, in games where we thought we've got these results and then taken away from us. Portsmouth in particular, Rich, if you're watching, by the way. Yeah, that one kind of ended well. Watford, another one that bloody let me down. They could have just left it 1-1 and just shook hands with Hull, but no, they thought, nah. Forget that, but that's how things happen in the Championship, isn't it, Steve? Mm-hmm. It's the most unpredictable league in football, I'd say.
It is. But luckily, nobody caught a blank this week, so that's good.
Well, talking about nobody shooting blanks, I know you two did a few weeks ago, but here he is, the man himself, Rich. How are we?
How do you feel about that, Rich?
What, shooting blanks?
Yeah.
It's a bit of an insult. That's before the watershed as well.
Did you two do that? What was it, a couple of weeks ago where you both done it in
you were the first one to do it, Jack.
Yeah, come on. Don't you tar us with that brush.
Yeah, I've done it a few times.
A lot of draws again, weren't there, boys? I think, was there 7 draws, Steve, this week?
Yeah, well, wasn't really a very end-to-end, was it, really? Sort of draws were very frustrating, especially for the predictions anyway, because we didn't actually go for many draws ourselves. So do we want the scores on the doors off and early? So you've been asking about it all day. So
yeah, go on.
Right. So, Rich, you did indeed get one correct. That was the Watford Hull City result.
Yeah, I was quite happy with Watford scoring there, Jack, because you had 1 all there, didn't you?
Yeah. You would have got another one if Portsmouth didn't score at the end.
Well, I think we all would have got. Did we all have 2-0 Ipswich?
We did.
Sorry, we let you down.
That's unfortunate. Jack, you got 2 this week. You got the Wrexham Derby game and the Southampton Middlesbrough result. That was both 1-alls. And for me, I matched Jack. I got 2. I got Swansea Millwall and Stoke Norwich. So scores on the doors. Me and Jack, we're both on 7, and Rich, you're in the lead with 10 still. But
it's tightened up a bit.
We've gained on him this week, Steve. But you know what I mean? He's not pulling away with it that easily this time.
3-game week, boys. You could catch me right up.
Exactly.
Good. if things don't happen the way this weekend went, where the games where you sort of hoped something would end the way it wanted to, and then the late goals seemed to happen. And that was a sort of thing this the last week, wasn't it, Rich?
You were quite happy with a late goal, you two, weren't you?
Well, I didn't see it.
Well,
I didn't see it. I was down in the concourse.
Yeah, I see on the WhatsApp group you were in the concourse, weren't you? But look, it's another unbeaten game for you. I know we've said like the other week when you played Oxford, it was a bit disappointing. You went down to 10 men, but you got a draw. You're keeping that run going. But if you look at the table now, it's closing right up. I know, obviously, Borough, Jack? They're on. Is it 17 points? Yeah, 17 in there because they drew. But you know, it's really tightening up. And I mean, if you have like we won on Saturday, if we could get a 9-point week, we could spring right into the top, probably 4 or 5. But you've got to do it, haven't you? It's easy saying it, but doing it's a whole different question.
That's the thing with the Championship. It's unpredictable, isn't it? You know, you never know how you're going to turn up on the day. Obviously, as fans, we like to win every game, don't we? But it's trusting your team to go and do what you'd hope would happen. Which again, Steve, at West Brom, which were the first game on the Friday, wasn't it? We'd hope Leicester would go there and get 3 points and sort of get rid of this sort of drawing drought, shall we call it? But that was not the case, was it? Leicester left it late at the Hawthorns again and drew.
Yeah, I think my highlight of the day was the wing stop before the game, to be honest.
Yeah.
The actual match itself wasn't very good. We were quite poor up until the last minute. And look, you know, a different week, that shot from De Cordova goes wide, but just happened to get a deflection and bobble into the back of the net. So I'll take it. It's a point well earned. I don't even know if it was well earned, to be honest. That's a lie again. It was a point. That's how I see it. It's a point.
Well, I mean, was it Madger? Was it Madger missed the sitter? Was it?
Yeah,
just
right
Madger?
at the end. Yeah, Solasic sort of parried the free kick out, didn't he? And he put it over the bar, which is, you know, that. And again, another week that's 2-0, and we don't come back, and everyone leaves unhappy. So take the positives.
Oh, Michael,
We're not accepted no guilty party, have we, Steve?
I have.
Well, you have. I'm not sitting there saying anything until they can prove what they've got on us. You know, it's one of them. There's nothing at this minute in time. A lot of people always speculate with this whole bloody point deduction. That's the only thing teams seem to talk to us about when it comes to Leicester. When are you getting this point deduction to give us a chance of you not getting promoted and us getting a bit more closer to the Premier League? I say, well, they haven't got anything on us at the minute, you know. Until they've found us guilty, then we'll hold our hands up and take the handcuffs. Until then, it ain't happening. So you lot keep worrying about your own teams and what they're doing and not keep worrying about us, because we seem to be the biggest talking point. But yeah, Leicester against West Brom. Me and a bloke next to me kept talking about it. We said we always leave it late at the Hawthorns. The way we played, Rich, is the whole scenario of West Brom didn't take the chances. Leicester wasn't good enough in the final third. We knew we had to be better, and then obviously West Brom helped us out in the end to get us a point. And I think a point at Hawthorns with how you play, you take it, don't you, in the end?
Yeah, I think, look, sometimes you can't play well all the time. I think there's so many games in this league, you know, there's injuries, suspensions. Unfortunately, I didn't watch any of your game, boys, because I was engrossed with the golf. The golf. It was much better.
It was
probably watching. Yeah.
To be honest, I would have preferred to watch the golf over that.
But
game.
I think you have to take a positive, Jack, that you've come out of that. You've kept going right to the end.
Gained a point.
You've got a point there that you probably thought that you weren't going to get. Now you've got a home game on Wednesday. If you win that,
Tuesday.
Is it Tuesday? Is it?
Yeah.
So, but if you win that tomorrow night, then you've got 4 points from your 2 games, and it's that 2-point average, isn't it? You say if you get a 2-point average, you're going to be on over 90 points, but then you're going to get 9 off. So, you'll be on about 80 odd. So, there you go.
But you know what, Steve? He was digging at Blackburn this week. This week he's digging at Leicester. It's embarrassing from his perspective, isn't it, Steve? You know, we thought we were all friends last week when he was talking about Blackburn, but Richard's like, nah, I'm taking it to Leicester this week. I want to go.
Look, Rich has to have a rival somewhere because Norwich aren't doing the job. So, you know, it makes sense.
That's Let's not get ahead of yourself there. We're playing them on Sunday. I'm keeping my powder dry until Thursday. That's Thursday when I'm coming for them. But tonight, no, Norwich is. That's the game after. I think with a lot of our fans, Jack, they're all getting excited because obviously the derby's on Sunday. But I think we're forgetting we've got a big game tomorrow night at Bristol. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We need a result down there first of all.
Are you travelling down, Rich?
Yeah, going down tomorrow afternoon. I've got a lift down now. I was supposed to be driving, but one of my mates, he's got some space in his car, so I've not got to drive. So I'm looking forward to getting down there.
Lovely. Let's have a look at some of the other results then from the Saturday game. So Coventry 3-0 against Birmingham. Birmingham getting sent down to 10 men. I mean, they don't really need to make the bloody challenge, do they? To be fair.
Did you think they were yellows, Jack? Because I see their manager was having a bit of a whinge, but I think
they're 2 yellow cards. The first one.
I think the first one he's a bit unlucky. I think they've sort of coming together. Maybe he's a little bit late there. The second one, once you know that you're on a yellow, you cannot do that. You can't put your hands on somebody. You're just asking for trouble then.
And then their Birmingham defender ended up bloody doing a Booba Samare, Steve, where it hits him and then it trickles over the line and the goalkeeper couldn't keep it out, could he? And it ended up being 3-0 in the end. Coventry have started off really well, still unbeaten in the league as well as Middlesbrough. Swansea, Millwall 1-1, Wrexham, Derby, Berriton, Diaz with an absolute cracker for Derby, Rich.
What a goal that was. I mean, when I see it on the highlights and they showed it from another angle and you see the curl he puts on it, as soon as he hits it, it's in. It's one of them ones where, look, he struggled, didn't he, at Sheffield United a little bit from, like when he went there initially, when they were in the Premier League, a couple of years ago. I think he had a decent end to the season, but then he sort of didn't do a lot. I think then he went back to Southampton, Jack, didn't he? He's not really got going, but, strikers are confidence players. If they get on a run, then that was definitely a decent finish, wasn't it? Very good goal.
It was interesting. So when I was in Derby the other night for the gig, I overheard some Derby fans talking at the bus stop saying, fucking hell, he's terrible. Like, send him back. He's not good enough. They won't be saying that after the weekend, will they? So
I'm afraid not. Talking about, was there any rain at the Valley? There wasn't. It was sunshine and it was lovely. Good win for Charlton. Rich 3-0 against Blackburn. Blackburn fans not happy on the performance though, but Charlton, they won't care, will they?
Well, I mean, Charlton has 2 back-to-back wins. I think they're up to 7th now, Jack. I mean, I think we probably all had them down to probably struggle. And I know it's early, but I think you've just got, like we said before, when you're playing early games and you're in a bit of form, get your points on the board because Charlton are probably going to hit a sticky spell, probably not got the biggest squad. I see they've signed Onel Hernandez today, Jack. He was a free agent. He was obviously at Norwich. Gave old Marcelino Nunes a little bit of stick. I mean, I don't know if you've seen it when he signed for Town, saying that if he ever played against him, we actually play him on the 21st of October. So that might be a bit lively now. But yeah, look, fair play to Nathan Jones. I think he's doing a cracking job down there. He's one of them managers, isn't he? I think we spoke on here before, Steve. I think if he's in charge of your club, you're going to love him. Anyone else, you think he's a bit of a knob?
Yeah, he sets up he takes the pressure, doesn't he? That's the thing. He's
definitely.
Where if the team doesn't play well, he says something a bit out of the ordinary. Where you go, well, hang on a second, what does he mean there? And then you forget completely about the performance. But he's actually started really well, and I actually have hope that I think they'll stay up this season now. To be honest, because they might have a sticky patch, but I just think they've got an okay squad for this level, and I think there are teams that are way worse than them, and we'll get to Sheffield Wednesday and Oxford at some point. But overall, I think they're doing all right.
Rich, Philogene,
he's on fire. He's I think. Yeah, look, I think he got another goal. If you see his hat trick against Sheffield United, the goal he got Saturday, Jack, was a mirror image of probably 2 of them ones cutting in on his right foot. He's got a really good combination down that left side with Leif Davis. And yeah, look, we hope that the form continues. I mean, last season he came in, played a little bit, then he got injured. Few rumours around that he might sort of want to go in the summer, but I mean, when he's on it in this league, I mean, he's a little bit like Fatawu for you, you know. Them players, I think, you know what they're going to do. They're going to cut in on their, like he does on his left foot, Philogene on his right foot, but they can't stop him. You might know what they're going to do, but he'll always find that little yard of space. And it was a great finish, and it was a comfortable victory. It was one of them games, sort of, you get in the Championship that I think you don't have to be at your best. You can be in second or third gear. I thought Pompey were pretty poor, if I'm honest. I know they got a few injuries. They scored a late goal, 92nd minute. It didn't really have a lot of bearing on the result. And it was, but then we come in for a little bit of criticism. Some of our fans said it was a really poor second half show. But I think sometimes when you've got 3 games in a week, I think you've got to manage your sort of, obviously you make some subs, but just save your legs. The job was done. It was never at any point in that second half did I ever sit there thinking, oh, yeah, we're under a bit of pressure here. We didn't play at our best, but we didn't have to be. We didn't have to be at our best, but we're going to have to be better tomorrow night away at Bristol City because they're a decent side. And if we're not at our best then, we'll probably come away with a defeat because that's how it works, Jack. We know the Championship. If you're not at your best, you're probably going to 9 times out of 10 you're going to lose. Or if possible, like yourselves, you nick a point. Just even if you don't play well, it's important sometimes, or most of the time, to still get a result, Not
lose.
Yeah.
Steve, Sheffield United picked up their first win in 7 games at the weekend. Beat Oxford. Callum O'Hare, was it with the goal?
It was.
I think they much needed that one, didn't they, to be
they
fair?
Did. Yeah. They didn't look very convincing, though, still. Like, if you look at the actual stats itself, Oxford were the line share of the possession, more shots, bigger chances. And yet, maybe that's all you need. You're not going to play well, but you can come away with the 3 points and that sort of kickstart your season. So they'll be delighted just to get a win and off the foot of the table with, well, not off the foot, but, no 0 points. They've got 3 points, which is better. And they're going to start catching Sheffield Wednesday now, I would say. But yeah, I think that's going to breed some confidence. Because I think if they're lost again on Saturday and don't pick up a result tomorrow night or Wednesday or whenever they play next, there could be even more pressure on the squad.
Yeah, is Ben Nelson injured or does Martin not really rate? I just think he struggled. I think that's what it is. Obviously, he did pick up that injury in pre-season, but then I just think he struggled since he's come back a little bit. He didn't really play well against Huddersfield in the Cup, to be fair, and he's just probably struggled to get a real hand on things with how our style of football is. Obviously, you've still got Fass at the club, Akola, Vestergaard, who are doing things that it maybe isn't, and maybe it's a training thing that he just isn't given enough. We thought Ben Nelson would be in the starting 11 come the first game of the season, but obviously that's not the case. So maybe I just think it's a bit of a struggle at the minute, Stephen. Maybe that's just how Marty sees it, that he wants him to keep working, and then he'll give him the opportunity when it comes arising. So I'd just stick with him, to be fair, and go from there. But he's still young, still learning, and a lot more to develop on, I'd say. Preston, Bristol City ended up 0-0. I mean, what a save by Daniel Leverson.
Wow.
Yeah.
World class. God, that was world class. I know you might say the finish was, if he'd have put it in the corner, he's not saving it. So he has put it, Mehmeti, at a height where it's giving him an opportunity. But, I mean, it's literally, was it last kick of the game, wasn't it, Steve?
Yeah.
So I think he missed another one-on-one, Mehmeti. So I'm hoping that he don't find his shooting boots anytime soon, Jack, with us facing him tomorrow night. But I think Preston are ticking along quite well, aren't they? I know you're playing at home, but look, still another point. I see, what's the manager, Preston's manager? I can't remember his name.
It's the Sheffield United.
Leeds. Heckingbottom. Yeah. He was quite happy with the draw because he said last season I think they drew quite a lot of games, but when your goalie does a save like that in the last minute, I mean, it's literally probably felt like a win for them. A little bit. And Bristol City probably be a little bit frustrated that they didn't get a win, but they've still picked up another point, and I think they're sitting 4th, aren't they, at the minute in the table? So good start for them.
Osmajic had a chance not long before that one.
Oh, wow. His first touch. Shocking.
That's the thing in them type of games.
Horrendous.
Preston City, you never really see much goals in it. If you actually listen to what were going on in the game at the weekend, you think, can you just both score one at least? It helps. Obviously not. Sheffield Wednesday did though in QPR. Southampton and Middlesbrough shared the spoils. Stoke and Norwich also shared the spoils. Norwich haven't been great. They've been piss poor. It's how their fans would actually react. Southampton, very much again the same. And QPR, I think they just took the point at Sheffield Wednesday because I believe they didn't really play well to what they'd have hoped.
I'm looking at Norwich. They're 14th, Jack, and they're sitting on 8 points from 7 games. All of them 8 points away from home. Yeah. Which is, I think they play West Brom, I think on Wednesday. But I see a stat. The last 2 away games, they played Coventry and they played obviously Stoke at the weekend. They've given up 52 shots on their goal, Steve. And I mean, they've got 2 draws and realistically, they probably should have lost both of them. And I'm actually hoping that they keep up this sort of ratio, Jack, going into Sunday.
Well, there was a report on Twitter early on from Mr. Nixon. I don't know how reliable he is to some people, but he was saying that there is a squad in the Championship that aren't very happy with the manager.
That was on the second tier pod, wasn't it, Steve? I see that yesterday. Yeah. Who do we reckon it is?
I think it's Manning, to be honest, the Norwich manager. I really do.
Well, I think if you look at them, they've obviously not won at home. They've got West Brom in the week, and then they've obviously got us on Sunday. I think, Steve, if they lost both of them games,
he'd be gone.
I think he'd be really, really struggling. I honestly do. I know that'd only be 9 games in, but I think he'd be under massive pressure.
Especially because they spent a lot of money in the summer as well.
Yeah.
So, but I think he's the one that's under pressure. But yeah, I agree. I think if he doesn't pick up results soon, he might be the first casualty of the season.
Do you know where he was as a kid? Academy, Jack? Do you know where he was?
By any chance?
Ipswich. Yes. Agent Manning. He's doing a great job. Keep him in the job, boys. Keep him in there.
Talking about the other two, though, I mean, some said it could have been Southampton with a lot of the egos have been dropped to the bench and out the team. Will Steele's obviously doing that type of thing to the likes of Harwood Bellis and that. I think, was it the captain that got dropped as well? Stevens, another one that's been dropped. And then you look at Watford. I mean, that video that got brought out of them in the dressing room at full time, they look well impressed by the manager.
I've not seen it, Jack. I've not seen it. I see it on socials. What's sort of going on there then?
Well, he were talking, and then he could talk little bits of English, but then his translator were doing other bits. Do you get what I mean? So his translator were doing other bits to the players and talking about certain things, and they didn't look impressed at all, did they, Steve, with the things he were coming out with and that. And Watford fans want him gone already, and it's like I said to my mate from one of the podcasts, I said, is that it then, boys? I said, from the day of the appointment then, was he going to be gone within 6 months? Because that's how it sort of happens at Watford, or they'll have 3 managers in a season. He says, yeah, we want him gone, to be fair. And he said the players didn't look impressed either. And I'm thinking, every time with Watford, I don't get it with the whole ownership and the bloody management. And they'll buy so many good players. You sort of expect them to finish a bit more higher in the table. And then when they start the season, you're thinking, yeah, this ain't what we signed up for, is it? And it's a problem. And I think that's because you keep swapping and changing managers all the time. The players are not getting used to one style of football, and it is about another 50 styles they're playing before they can get in the right man. Yeah,
but I also feel like whenever they sack a manager, it always seems to work for them, which is really annoying. Because I guess as a fan, if you keep sacking managers, you think at some point it's going to go wrong. But they still pick up points, and they're still safe sort of mid-table in the Championship. So, they don't look great, do they? And the fact they already want their manager out so early into the season, not ideal. We're already in September, so.
What did it beat all, actually? They come back and won that game. Didn't really look great again, did they, in that game against Hull? But Hull probably expected to score at least 2 in that game, but wasn't the case. Ollie McBurney did score again for Hull, and then Watford come back and won 2-1. So they are picking up points, Watford, but I just think it's frustrating for them again. how things are going at Vicarage Road, Steve.
But I mean, what is their ambition? Because they had Tom Cleverley, didn't they? And I thought he'd done a decent job last season, mid-table, and then you sack him. So I'm not really sure. I think if you're a Watford fan, you'd probably be quite confused because you probably know that you're going to go through at least one manager, maybe two in a season. That's just how it is over the last, I don't know how many years, but they've always made managerial changes, haven't they? And it's like, do they think that in the end they'll stumble on someone who finds the sort of the magic touch and he brings them, gets them in the playoffs and maybe gets them back to the Premier League? Because I don't really know. It confuses me a little bit. You know, football it's a volatile business. I think we all know that. And what the shelf life of a manager is really, really short. But I mean, if you're at Watford, I'm not sure what the shelf life there is, Steve, of a manager.
Well, it's quite bad because, like, the last 5 managers they've had, they all averaged about 1.1 points per game. So he's still in this, you know, he's drawing with Cleverley and Ishmael and Wilder. Bilic has slightly more, and so does Edwards. But, like, it's not great still, is it? You know, but yeah, I don't know what they expect. You know, if you keep changing your manager, you're not going to build anything. And they had that situation where, was it the year they're in the Premier League where they sacked? Was it Munez, Ranieri, Hodgson? Was that it? Yeah, but they sacked 3 managers in a season. You're like, well, what are you going to do there? Like, you're clearly going to go down. Just keep hold of somebody and hopefully he changes around. But I don't know.
Well, he did say to the players that I'm not here to make friends. I'm just here to improve you. And I'm like, okay. Well,
he's not done that.
Well, he definitely hadn't done that, has it? You know. And there's a sort of way of going about that sort of thing in it. You look at Ruud van Nistelrooy when he come into Leicester, it was like, yeah, I'm not here to make friends, and that straight away from the off. And obviously the players didn't like what he'd said, and then obviously the Watford manager's gone and done the same thing, and it's like, yeah, well, you don't like him. But this is the problem. You know, young players want to thrive, don't they? They want to play the best, but if you're not getting the best out of the players that Watford do have, there's only one way he's going to be going probably before the international break. If they lose their next 2 games, then they could really be in trouble of bringing in another manager, and it just doesn't. It's just a vicious cycle, and this is why they're not in the position they used to be when they used to have like the Troy Deeneys and that at the club. You used to be a team that would go for the playoffs, or even be in the top 2 at times. But Watford's changed massively of the landscape of a football club now.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, obviously, the Premier League days are a few seasons back, and that parachute money's run out, Jack. And you know, it just seems very volatile that they're always going to be changing your manager. And we all know that, like you say, the players didn't look happy in that clip that they showed. And you know what player power's like. If they don't like the manager, like you say, it's only going to end one way. Yeah. And he'll go. He will go.
It is true. Right, let's get on to week 8 then and the predictions. Tuesday and Wednesday games, but there's more obviously tomorrow night. Guys, get your predictions in as well. Let us know what you think the scores are going to be on the doors. And we're going to start at St Andrews. Birmingham taking on Sheffield Wednesday. Birmingham sitting 11th. Sheffield Wednesday sitting 23rd. 5 points between these two sides. Rich, we're going to start with you, a Birmingham side who have scored 1 goal in their last 5 matches. Sheffield Wednesday, Barry Bannon is the big chance creator for the Owls going into this one, by the way, with 5. Birmingham and Sheffield Wednesday have not drawn any of their last 4 matches against each other. How do you think this one goes? What have you got?
I was reading today, see Sheffield Wednesday players are not going to get paid again on time. I mean, surely sooner or later somebody has to step in there. Yeah. You know, it can't be. It can't be allowed to keep continuing, as far as I'm concerned. You know, it's not just the players; it's obviously all the staff. You know, players, look, they earn a lot of money and they're quite comfortable. Whereas everyday people, you know, they've got to pay bills and that, and it's just it isn't good enough. It's not good enough by any stretch of the imagination. And what's not good enough also is probably Birmingham. They've underperformed a little bit, Jack. I know. Look. They're 11th. They've got 10 points. You know, if they win tomorrow night, they're probably going to take themselves back in the top 6. But they've only scored 5 goals in 7 games. And I mean, I think a couple of them were penalties, weren't they, Jay Stansfield? So they're struggling. They're finding out that it's not as easy as I think they probably maybe initially thought. Not saying manager and players, because they but maybe fan expectation needs to be just cooled down a little bit. You haven't done nothing for a long time, Birmingham City. They'd always struggled, and they finally got relegated. They've come back. They've got obviously more money gone into them, but it might take them 2 or 3 seasons to build a side. They've got big ambition, haven't they? They want to get out this league. Now they talk, they want to build a new super stadium, 60-odd thousand. But I think maybe you try to run before you can walk, just a little bit. But I think tomorrow night, Wednesday, I've had a couple of decent results, and they had a win at Pompey, draw at the weekend. But I think I'll see a 2-0 Birmingham win.
Steve?
So I saw on Twitter earlier that a Birmingham fan said that realistically they need to get 12 points from the next 6 games. Otherwise, they need to sack the manager. And I was thinking, hang on a second here, mate. Is the bubble burst at Birmingham where they think they're big in the R, but actually they can't pick up the results? To potentially replace the manager because they might not win 4 games out of the next 6 is crazy to me. But do you think Sheffield Wednesday players with their mind will be somewhere else again with not being paid? I think it's always going to be in the back of your mind as a player, surely. But I think Birmingham will be too strong. I've gone for a 1-0 win for Birmingham. But yeah, I think they started well, but they haven't really played great, have they, overall?
No. This is what I say with Birmingham. I looked at them against Coventry, I don't think they really offered anything going forward. I watched them against Leicester. 1 shot on target in the whole game. They're not creating enough. They don't look threatening. The Swansea game, they just managed to nick that game by the scruff of its neck, and it's like, okay then. But they don't seem to be scoring a lot of goals. That team, you'd expect it to score a lot more and create a lot more with the players that they have got. They've got some good players in that squad, but it's just they're struggling. They're a possession-based side who they seem to do a lot. And then when it comes to the final piece of it, it's like, are you actually going to take a shot on then or what? Or this is my sort of problem with Birmingham, where I think reality's sort of hit them since that Leicester game. This league isn't what they'd hoped it would be, and that's not every fan, is it? To be fair, some would have the expectation of just staying up and that and finishing as high as possible, but some probably
they were giving it a big licks against us, Jack, with the first game of the season. I thought they'd actually won the league that night.
Yeah.
Some have even spoke about the playoffs, haven't they? My mate bloody says top 2, and I said you ain't going nowhere near it. You can't overlook teams or anything in this league. This league, it can be very unforgiving, and this is what it's doing so far because you've overlooked it early on. I've got this one with Birmingham winning 1-0. I'm going to stick with you, Steve, on that one.
Copycat.
Yep, we're gonna.
But if they win that, like I say, they'll go probably in the top 6, and it's the thing with them. I think we all know that if they're anywhere near probably the top, if they're in the top 8, Jack, come January, they'll probably spend quite big. I'd have thought in the window.
I agree. Next one is Ewood Park. Will the rain stay off? Is another question.
Oh, the Swans of Swansea will be swimming.
Someone said they're going to have to get the canoes out if it rains again, but we will see. I think you're going to have to you might get skinny dipping if that pitch floods its way up. But nah, I think the weather looks fine for Tuesday night at Ewood Park. Swansea at home for Blackburn then. What do we reckon, Steve, for this one?
So Blackburn haven't won a game at home yet so far this season. I know they were winning in one of the games, but I don't know what happened in the end there. Something happened. I'm not sure. But they're yet to win at home. And I think Swansea are a decent outfit. I think they're sort of 13th in the table, 2 wins, 3 draws and 2 defeats. Not a high scoring team, are they, Swansea, with 7 goals in the 7 games itself. I think it'll be a shutout. I think it'll be 1-1. And as you know, some bright sunshine up there for them.
What, in the midnight sky in
Yeah.
Lancashire?
Yeah. Hey, if it's dry and the moon's out, they'll be happy. You know, they don't see it very often, do they? Let's be honest. So.
Rich, these two sides have not drawn any of their last 8 games against each other.
Wow.
I mean, is it Vopotnich? He's
Yeah.
scored quite a few goals for Swansea. Blackburn haven't won a game at home yet. Will it be Blackburn's time, or do you think Swansea's sort of even this in their favour?
I think if you're an away fan now, going to Blackburn, in that week leading up to the game, you're probably going to be checking that weather forecast, and you're thinking, oh, shit, it's raining. Oh, it's raining all day. Yeah, I tend to agree with Steve on this one. I don't think it's going to be a classic. And I don't think there's going to be many goals. I think there'll be a couple, but I'll go with Steve. I'll go 1-1. I think they'll cancel themselves out. And I'm going to cancel Steve out so he don't catch me up.
Right, I'm going to go 2-0 Swansea. I'm going to back the Swans for this one. I think they'll have enough to win the game, to be fair. I think they're playing really some decent stuff under Alan Tune, and I can see it sort of going on at Eagle Park tomorrow night. Rich, we're going to come to you. This one, Bristol City versus Ipswich Town. I mean, this one's a tricky game for Ipswich. Bristol City sitting 4th, Ipswich sitting 12th. Ipswich have scored 10 goals in their last 5 games. Bristol City are averaging a 1.9 goals per match so far this season. They've started off very well, have 12 points. How tricky is this one at Ashton Gate for you boys tomorrow night?
Yes, like I said earlier, I think it's a tricky place to go on a Tuesday. And look, we started to find a little bit of form at home. But so far in the games that we played away from home, we haven't got going yet. And it's important if you're going to be in the mix and up around the top 2, we've got to get that away form right. Which last time we did when we were in the Championship, I think we probably won about 8 or 9 away games then, Jack, and we went there and won 1-0. That was on a Tuesday night as well. But they're not to be underestimated, Bristol. I think they're a very good side. I think he's a decent manager. He's continuing sort of the work that Manning done. And they started well, but I think we'll make some changes tomorrow night. I think it's the time now. We've assembled a very good squad in this division, and I think you're going to have to probably make changes when you have 3-game weeks. So I think there'll be a few changes. I think Nunes gets his first start, and I think Town will get a 2-1 win.
I'm going to go for a 2-1 Ipswich win, Steve, in this one.
We're all copying Rich this time then, because I've gone 2-1 Ipswich win as well.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting. Heart says 2-1 Town. Head says 2-2. Interesting.
Long way to go for a Tuesday, isn't it? From Ipswich to Bristol.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if this was a draw, Steve. It would not surprise me at all if it was a 1-1. But I think hopefully our little bit of extra quality might shine through. But hopefully we don't give any free kicks away. I like Scott Twine, Jack. I think he's a decent player at this level.
Yeah.
It probably is his level, I think, because I think he was at Burnley, weren't they, when they were in the Premier League, and he didn't really get much of a look in there. But I think he's a very good player, and I think Bristol have a good season. Will they have enough to make the playoffs? I'm not quite sure this season, but I think a lot of teams in this league, it's all a bit of much of a muchness, and I think if you can put together some good form, I think you could probably sneak in. So, but not tomorrow night, Bristol. I don't think you're getting any points.
They've lost one of their better midfielders, haven't they? Is it Jason
Knight? Is he injured? I did hear a rumour that he was going to be injured.
Yeah, he is injured for this game.
Well, yeah, that's a blow for them. I think he's their captain. So, yeah, that's good for us.
Yeah. Shouldn't Ipswich have brought Scott Twine?
Can't buy everybody.
That's right.
We can't buy everyone.
Use that parachute money wisely, Rich.
Yes.
Hull is the next one versus Preston North End. Preston have started off really well, haven't they, so far? They got Thierry Smalls and Osmai, each of the main players. I believe Devine is very good for doing well at Preston. Hull have scored quite a few goals so far. Haven't kept a clean sheet in 7 matches, though. Their last head-to-heads, Hull won 2-1 in the last visit at the MKM. I think they've actually Preston haven't beat Hull in the last 3 visits to the MKM. So how do you think this one will go, Steve, for Hull v Preston?
I've got this as my game of the week, to be honest. I think it'll be a 3-3 draw. I think it'll be an end-to-end game.
Wow.
Because Hull can't defend, but they're pretty good in attack. And Preston can attack. And defensively, yes, they've got a decent goalkeeper with Everson, but they do let up chances as well. So I think it will be an end-to-end barnstormer 3-3 draw.
Wow. Fair enough. Save our pennies for Sargent in January then. I tell you what. I'm pissed off a bloody Ipswich already.
There would be anarchy in Norfolk if he was sold to us. I don't think we're getting him. Do not think we're getting him. I'd love to get Josh Sargent just to piss them off even more, but I don't think we will.
Rich, we're going to stick with you then for Hull v Preston.
Well, I'm not going for a 6-goal thriller. I will go for another Ollie McBurney goal, Jack. I think, what's he got? Has he got 5 goals for them this season? Started really well, hasn't he? Yeah, look, he was linked with us, and there was a few fans saying, look, he's got a bit of a sort of checkered sort of history, like off the pitch. But I think on the pitch, I think he's more than capable, and he's showing at this level that he knows where the goal is. I think he'll get another goal. I think Hull, they'll continue that record of beating Preston at home, and I'll go for a 2-1 home win.
These two don't really score many against each other. I think they'll sort of even themselves out on a Tuesday night. So I'm going to go 1-1.
See, I'm thinking outside the box. I'm going a bit sort of lavish, you know.
Right. Okay. What row is the best view in a football stadium? Let's say you sit near the corner flag.
No, in the cop, right at the top. There you go.
Yes. Yeah. Probably middle of the cop. If you want to sit in the middle of the stand, you get a good view. But if you go and sit like across from the west stand and you sit on the halfway line, you've got a good view of both ends. To be fair, you bang in the middle. So, anywhere halfway up. Let's go to the King Power Stadium then, boys. Leicester versus Wrexham. I believe there's going to be no Connor Cody and Danny Ward. So that's a shame, isn't it, Steve? This one. Connor Cody might be brought on Radio 5 Live, corresponding for this one, though, on the commentators box. Leicester, 3 draws in the last 3 games. Is it going to be back to winning ways then at the KP on Tuesday night, Steve?
I think we'll snatch a 1-0 win. I think we'll make some changes because, again, the games are coming thick and fast now. I know there's an international break coming up, but, I think Marty will experiment a little bit. A scrappy 1-0 win, I'll be happy with that as long as we get points on the board. I think they'll turn up and they'll be up for it. And I think Cody will be on the bench, to be honest. And I think he might come on in the second half. He'll get a massive boo from everyone, but I'm looking forward to it.
Especially Steve. Steve will be throwing.
He did piss me off though on Sunday. Driving up to Harrogate, he was on the radio for the.
He was on 5 Live. He was on 5 Live, wasn't he?
He was talking about how Anthony Gordon he didn't like the way he forced himself out of the club. And he's like, I've never done that. I was saying to my wife, I was like, yeah, no, you might have not forced yourself out, but you did kick up a fuss when we didn't accept £0 for you from Rangers. Like you threw your toys out the pram. So it's exactly the same thing, you dickhead. I can't stand him. I almost turned it off.
Almost.
It's personal. Agent Cody Banks, he can piss off.
Rich, what do you reckon? Leicester Wrexham.
I was going to say, what is the beef with Connor Cody? Is that the beef?
So when he left, he was talking about how, like, beginning of the season, he was saying how, I'm a leader in the dressing room, and I like to make sure that the players are following the right example. And then when he left, in his first interview, he said, things were difficult at Leicester because, when we were winning every week, I found it really difficult to be a leader. I'm like, well, you're not a leader then, are you? Clearly. Because if you can't lead during the bad times, you can't lead during the good times and say you're a leader.
Yeah, you can't pick and choose, can you?
No.
I'm going home advantage, Jack, for you boys. I think you'll be back to winning ways. I think Wrexham will score because I think they've got 12 goals in 7 games. They're always good for a goal, but I think you'll win 2-1.
Fair enough. I'll tell you what, I think we'll keep our unbeaten run going. No, it's not going to be a draw this time. I'm going to go back for winning ways. 2-0 Leicester. I think we'll have quite enough to win the game tomorrow night. And then from the King Power to the Riverside, Middlesbrough taking on Stoke. These two sides are very much doing very well. One sits first and one sits third. 4 points between the two. They've surprised everyone so far, these pair, with how good they have started. Middlesbrough have won their previous 2 matches against Stoke. They're ranked at first at home this season. Stoke, Sorba Thomas is ranked in most big chances created in the competition and for Stoke. But yeah, Middlesbrough are on fire this season, and they've started off very well in a big point against Southampton last game. Rich, what do you reckon for Borough v Stoke?
I think they're doing quite well. Win your home games, and then if you can nick a point on the road and the odd win away from home, I think that's a good recipe to have a good season. Look, Stoke has started well. I mean, the thing with them, Jack, is can they keep it up? I think Borough might. I'm not sure Borough will stay at the top of the league all season, but I think they good shout for maybe the top 6.
Yeah,
Stoke haven't been up there since obviously when they were relegated from the Premier League. I always think Stoke are going to have a decent season and then they absolutely stink the place out. But now they've got a very good manager at this level. I think Mark Robins is an excellent manager. The job that he'd done at Coventry, and then obviously look, he's unlucky not to get them to the Premier League. They're only a penalty kick away against Luton. I think home advantage here probably will be key. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Borough victory at home.
I'm going to go 2-1 Middlesbrough. I think both teams score, but Borough edge it. Steve?
Yeah, I've gone 2-1 Middlesbrough. I've coined this one the Depression Derby because if you decide to live in Middlesbrough or Stoke, which one would you pick? I'm not sure.
Oh, here we go. He's going in on Borough now. Wow.
Got to be somebody. But yeah, 2-1 Middlesbrough. I think they'll carry on, and Stoke will sort of fall back into where I imagine they'll be in the end of the season, sort of mid-table-ish.
Lovely stuff. Next one, boys, is Sheffield United taking on Southampton. This one is an interesting one. Neither side have started off well this season. Saints have got 7 points from 7. Sheffield United have just picked up their first win of the season. This one's going to be a very interesting one to see who can come out on top. How do you think this one will go, Steve, at Bramall Lane?
Well, both haven't really started the season very well, have they? We all know about Sheffield United and their poor start, but Southampton haven't really flattered anybody as of yet. I think the win will give Sheffield United a lot of confidence. But overall, I think it'll be a draw because, they both have decent squads still. I just think that getting used to the new manager, Wilder, not Wilder. No, it is Wilder, isn't it? Getting back used to Wilder again. But I've gone for a draw. I think Southampton are decent as a squad, but I think they still need to find their form. And this international break will be good for them because they'll still have quite a lot of players at the club, so they can actually get into it and hopefully for them they start pushing up the table. So 1-1 draw.
I'm going 1-1. I'm going for a draw, which I believe that's my second draw of the night. So yeah, I'll take that, a draw.
I think this is one. I think this is one of these games. It's a toss of a coin. I think it's a typical, your typical championship game.
Or draw.
If you look at Sheffield United, obviously just got their first win. Southampton 7 points from 7. I think I'd agree with you too. I think this has got a 1-1 written all over it, Jack.
Southampton haven't won a match in their last 5 attempts. Sheffield United have scored 1 in their last 5 games.
2 goals all season is terrible for them, isn't it?
But Southampton haven't lost to Sheffield United in their last 5 meetings. They've won all 5. Blades Channels are getting the open top buses ready for the parade after winning 1-0 versus Oxford. 2-1 Saints. It's going to be a tight affair for these pairs, to be fair. Where are we going next? Pride Park. Derby taking on Charlton. Rich, we're going to come you with this one. How do you think this one goes between the two sides?
Still not won at home, have they, Derby? I don't think. Still looking for that first home win. Just outside the relegation places. I think if you're a Derby fan, I think you probably expected maybe a little bit better, Jack, start to the season. He's obviously signed quite a lot of players and he's signed a lot of ex-Blackburn. I thought they looked quite organised at ours. 2-2 draw. I think maybe they might be a little bit more suited to playing away from home. Possibly, that they keep it quite tight. Whereas when you're the home team, the expectations on you to open up the game a little bit. And maybe they're finding that a bit of a struggle. We spoke about Charlton. I think they've had an excellent start. And I mean, not scored many. They're only going a goal a game, Jack, at the minute. 7 goals in 7 games. I think it'll be another tight game. I'm going to go 1-0 Derby. They get their first home win of the season.
1-0 Derby. Steve?
1-0. Charlton have started really well. Derby, as Rich said, probably would have been doing better than they'd like. But I think it'll be a decent game, to be honest. I think this one will be an end-to-end, but a 1-0 draw seems about right for me because I just don't see Derby winning at home.
Fair dues. I'm going to go 2-1 to Charlton.
Nathan Jones will be punching the air at the end if they win this one. He'll be
on his knees on that touchline, I'm telling you.
Praying. Joining him praying again, Jack.
Yeah. They are scoring goals and they've kept the most clean sheets in the Championship so far with 4. So, I think that's all right against Derby for me. Where are we going next? Wednesday night football this time. Millwall versus unbeaten Coventry. Cov sits second in the Championship. Where do Millwall sit at this point going forward? They sit in 10th. Millwall, Ivanovic has created the most big chances. Millwall. Coventry are averaging 2.6 goals per match. How do you think this one goes, Steve, at the Den?
Millwall are a bit of a strange one because Ivanovic, as much as he's creating the chances, he's not really finishing them, is he? I don't think he's scored so far this season. Yet. And 3 draws in a row for them. I think they're there or thereabouts where they're going to be this season anyway. No, not 3. It's a draw, a win and a draw. Sorry, I looked at the wrong stat there.
3 wins, 2 draws, 2 defeats for Millwall so far.
Yeah, Coventry firing on all cylinders again, aren't they? A decent 3-0 win against Birmingham after a couple of 3 draws. And then beating QPR 7-1.
Big points against Leicester.
Yeah, just the 1 point against Leicester, which they, lucky to get that one, to be honest, to come out of the King Power, just the 1 point after that battering. But I've gone for a 2-1 Coventry win. I think they'll just have enough quality to get past Millwall. And to be honest, the Den isn't really a scary place to go anymore, if you ask me. So nice game for them.
Banana skin for Cov this one. 3-1 to Millwall. Nigel's cracking it open tonight, isn't it? With some of the scores. Tell you what, I've got Coventry winning 2-0 in this one. I think they will score quite a few in this, to be fair. But Millwall at the Den, you never know what you're going to get. We can make it really difficult evening for Cov, and they always seem to turn up against teams who do sit in the top 6 sometimes, don't they, in the Championship. So, it's a tough place to go, but I think Cov get it over the line 2-0. Rich?
Well, I mean, if you look at Millwall, Jack, they're sitting in 10th.
Yeah.
Coventry second. They're 2 points behind them. So a Coventry win and Millwall go above them, which is, I find that quite amazing when Coventry are unbeaten so far. It shows you how tight the league is. When you've got a team sitting in 10th place on 11 points and they could go second in the league by beating Coventry. I don't think they will. I think Cov will have too much for them. I think Lampard's got them ticking, Jack, and I think they're a very good side. I think they're a good bet for the playoffs, at least. I think Coventry. It just depends, with injuries. Can you keep your better players like your Victor Torps? You can keep your Hadji Wrights fit. They might go close, and they're another team. If they're up there in January, you think you're around that top 3 or 4. You might push the boat out a little bit, and if you can change your club overnight if you can get out of this league and get to the Premier League. Even one season there, you get them parachute payments. But I think Cov will have too much, and I'm with you, Jack. I'm going to go 2-0. Hadji Wright double.
Well, that's so. Last time we went 2-0, it ended up bloody 2-1, didn't it? With Ipswich conceding. So hopefully not bloody Wednesday night, eh? Let's go to Carrow Road.
Oh.
Norwich's home form. It's been quite something, Rich, with your reaction.
The natives are very restless.
They take on West Brom. Liam Manning hasn't started off well, has he? They've got 8 points, 2 wins, 2 draws, 3 defeats. I mean, they are drawing quite a bit, aren't they? They did draw against Stoke. They are struggling to win at home, though, aren't they? Obviously, the last home game they played, they got beat to Wrexham. Norwich, Jack Stacey's created the most big chances for them, by the way. West Brom, Isaac Price is the most shots on target for West Brom for 1.2 on average. Mikey Johnston, has created the most big chances for West Brom. West Brom have scored 4 in their last 5. They're quite doing all right at Carrow Road when they do go there, West Brom. So what do you reckon for this one, Rich?
This is a big game for Norwich. I mean, like we were speaking earlier, they've obviously got us on Sunday, and they need to go into the game against us with a bit of momentum behind them. If they lose this game, the natives are restless already, Jack. And we always spoke about saying that, like, if they have 2 defeats this week, that could be it for Manning. And they've got I think they've won something like 5 in about the last 20 odd home games, Jack. They've got a terrible, terrible home record. But I think the tide's going to turn, and I think Norwich are going to come out 2-1 victors, and they're going to get a little bit of respite before getting an absolute battering on Sunday against us.
Right.
So there you go, 2-1 Norwich.
Steve?
I've gone 2-1 Norwich as well. I think seeing West Brom on Friday, they didn't really offer anything at all. Like, they were okay, but they weren't an attacking threat at all. Yeah. And look, Norwich are gonna win at home at some point. Surely it's got to happen. And I think this is a perfect game for them. And yeah, Rich, you're right. They need the momentum for Sunday, because you could see, like with Sheffield United, if you batter them, that's Manning gone. So I think a 2-1 win, and then we'll see what Sunday is going to be like, and we'll all be watching.
I'm gonna go 1-1.
Oh, he's sitting on the fence again. A lot of fence sitting tonight, Jack, from you.
Well, I was thinking of 1-1 or 2-1 West Brom. I don't know.
Can't change it now. You said 1-0.
Yeah, right. I'll stick with 1-1. I did have 2 scores written down for that one. So, Portsmouth v Watford is the next one. This one just screams draw all over it for me, because Pompey have just scored their first goal in a while. Watford, they are coming back off a 2-1 win against Hull. Let's have a look at a few stats. So haven't kept a clean sheet in 8 of Watford. Portsmouth and Watford have not drawn any of their last 6 matches. And Portsmouth have scored 3 goals in their last 5. Watford, though, have scored 5 goals in their last 5. So, Steve, what can you tell us then for Fratton Park?
This screams boring 0-0. They're not high scorers. Neither of them are high scorers. They're next to each other in the table. And look, I'll be honest, it's one of the games that I think if you want to go to sleep on Wednesday night, just put this game on and you'll fall straight ahead. So, yeah, 0-0. I think it'll be a boring game.
0-0. I've got this one as a 1-1. Rich?
I'm going to be a little bit different than you two. I don't want to keep copying you. It's boring if we're all going for the
after the first time.
I'm going to go. I agree with Steve. I don't think it's going to be a great game. And I see Portsmouth on Saturday. I think they're really going to struggle away from home. I'll see a stat, Jack. I think it was last week I think last season they got 40 of their 53 points at Fratton Park. Yeah. So we all know how difficult it is going down there. You know, it's always a good atmosphere, but they've lost at home to Sheffield Wednesday and Norwich so far. So Wednesday night under the lights, I think it'll be good atmosphere. And I think they might nick a 1-0 win with a Colby Bishop header, but I don't think it'll be one to watch.
Lovely. Let's head to our last one then at Loftus Road. QPR taking on Oxford. QPR sitting 9th. Oxford sitting 22nd. QPR have won their previous 2 matches against Oxford. Oxford haven't kept a clean sheet in their last 7. Michael Hellick has created the most big chances for Oxford United. On their last away day, they beat Bristol City 3-1. Oxford are on some good form going into this one, but I think QPR have too much from at Loftus Road. I will go 2-0 QPR.
Oh, I've gone the same. 2-0 QPR. I agree with everything you say. I think they'll just have a bit too much for them.
Kone double. Rich, you're the last man standing for this one.
I am going to complete the hat-trick because I'm going to go 2-0. I think 2-0. I think Oxford they've had some decent results, but I think they're going to be one of them teams down there this season that they're really going to struggle. You know, I think probably their home form, they're going to have to take a lot of points at home if they're going to stay in the league. I mean, if they finish 4th from bottom at Oxford, I think that's a good season. You know, with their 3 stands, we go in there. I think it's November. But yeah, I think QPR have had some decent results, Jack. I think, like you say, Kone, I think he's been a good signing so far for them, and I think they'll get the 3 points and they'll climb up the league table.
Lovely stuff. And that is week 8 of the Championship predictions. Good luck to everyone. Rich, Steve.
You don't mean that. You don't mean that. We can see in your eyes. You're thinking, I hope you all fucking lose.
Let's hope we gain on Rich. Let's hope we can get as many.
Yeah, good luck, Jack. Not so much luck for you, Rich, but good luck, Jack.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah,
all right. Sweet. I was going to say all the best, but you're going to be like that.
No, we got to catch you. We got to catch you before the
more scores come through, Rich. We're getting double points. You're just getting a single point.
We'll see, won't we? We'll see. It's like it is like trying to pick the lottery numbers. I think sometimes with the results in the Championship.
Yeah.
Go and check out the match preview for Leicester fans. Fearless in Devotion joined us last night. It was a good chat, wasn't it, Steve?
You get a word in edgeways.
I think, but it's what it is. But yeah, Leicester take on Wrexham tomorrow night at King Power. I'll be there for that one. Steve will be there as well. Rich is going to Ashton Gate to watch Ipswich. And yeah, we'll be back on Thursday at 6 o'clock with the Championship predictions week 9. We will be looking how well or how bad we've done. The good, the bad, and the ugly is what we're going to discuss on Thursday night with the Championship predictions. So fingers crossed we do get some points. But
I thought you were talking about us free.
Yeah, it's free, exactly. Yeah, it's free.
Who's what, Jack?
Well, we'll leave that to another time. I think we'll leave that to another time.
That's it, right? The 3 horsemen are out, and that is it from us. Take care, everyone. Good night. And we'll catch you again soon.
See you Thursday.